Good evening and welcome to the Financial Week. I'm Javon Keys. Now, on Thursday, we told the story of Jason Brown, who, like more than 40% of persons in the employed labor force, had some kind of disruption to his earnings. Now, as Jamaica considers the prospects of an unemployment insurance scheme, we explore what it is and how it could work. In some jurisdictions, there are social protection schemes for persons who lose their jobs. Unemployment insurance is one of them.
In its most basic form, unemployment insurance really seeks to protect employed persons against the risk of job loss, in that it facilitates access to a partial income during those spells of unemployment.
In May this year, the Planning Institute of Jamaica (PIOJ) began a feasibility study for the implementation of an unemployment insurance program. Here's how these schemes generally work.
The most common is through social insurance, which implies contributions for employers and employees, as you know, with other branches through the NIS. Government, in some cases, also contributes either as an employer through the public service or providing funding to the unemployment fund. The other alternative that we have is that when it comes to the informal sector and people not affiliated to the national insurance scheme, so sometimes governments take the cost of providing unemployment protection to this group of workers in the informal economy.
Jamaica's feasibility study will last for a year. Stakeholder consultations have also started.
We'll be looking at various aspects. So the administration of such a scheme, how will it be financed? And as we mentioned before, it will be contributory in nature. So that will take care of some of the financing, but then there are other costs attached to running such a scheme. Then the legislative implications of having an unemployment insurance scheme in Jamaica is something that we also will be looking at, especially in terms of its interactions with other existing legislation.
The findings will be analyzed and submitted to Cabinet. If approved, Jamaica could have an unemployment insurance scheme in a matter of years. Only 2 countries in the Caribbean have so far implemented a long-term unemployment benefit scheme, the Bahamas and Barbados. Both are done through the National Insurance Framework with contributions from employees, employers, and government. In Barbados, persons must make at least 20 contributions to benefit. The insured gets a percentage of their pay before separation on a weekly basis for a maximum 26 weeks. In the Bahamas, the structure is similar, except there is a maximum payout of $200 Bahamian paid up to 13 weeks. The Bank of Jamaica is projecting that inflation could exceed the 4 to 6% target range as at September. Now, the bank's governor, Richard Biles, made this announcement at the quarterly monetary policy press briefing Friday morning.
The MPC anticipates that annualized consumer price inflation will evolve in a range of 6 to 7% over the September 2021 quarter to the June 22 quarter. Following the possible breaches of the upper limit of the bank's target range over this period, inflation will gradually decelerate as the transitioning effects of the pandemic fade. The inflation forecast reflects the lagged impact of higher international commodity and shipping prices, a recovery in domestic demand, and a temporary increase in inflation expectations.
Meanwhile, Mr. Biles says the Jamaican dollar's rate of depreciation compared to the US dollar has slowed for the calendar year to date. Now, this is compared to the same period in 2020.
At the 16th of August 2021, this year, the exchange rate was 155.08 to $1, representing a depreciation of 8.7% for the calendar year to date. While this movement is still too high for comfort, it compares favorably with the 12% depreciation that occurred over the same period last year.
Now to today's currency trading, $154.58 is the latest average selling rate for the U.S. currency. The Canadian dollar is trading at $121.45. It's costing $210.81 for the pound and $181.73 for the euro. The JSE index declined by 804 points, while the junior market index gained 12 points. Among the winners were JMB Group 7.5% shares, Paramount Trading Jamaica, Express Catering, Dolphin Cove, and Stanley Motor ordinary shares. On the losing side were Portland JSX, SSL Venture Capital, KLE Group, Stationery and Office Supplies Limited, and Siboney Group. And that's it for the Financial Week. I'm Javon Keys. News from overseas right after this break.